Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Now, we all knew that Tron Ares was probably going to be a bomb, but I don't think we knew how big of a bomb it was going to be. And
You
also, I did. I freaking called it. We're going to talk about the numbers because I totally called it based on what I was seeing. But we have an explanation as to why this movie bombed, guys. Are you ready for it? It's COVID.
Right, yes.
COVID is why.
They're literally going there. They're literally going there. The movie did not do well because COVID. COVID years.
Oh my God, what year is it now? I know there's a new strain going around. I know that Tron fans aren't getting any younger, but come on. Like, we're still going to be blaming COVID for everything freaking 10 years from now. It's like, well, it's because of COVID. It's because of... All right, so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. Sign up for notifications when we post new content. You will get an email because YouTube is not sending notifications to a lot of people, so we want to make sure you know when we post new content. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so we'll get to the COVID bit, but let's talk about the box office first. They're saying 33 million is what they think it's going to settle.
Depends who you ask, but somewhere around there. Now, it was funny because when we were heading into the theater, you said to me that you don't think it's going to do like 30, 35 at the most, 35.
Yeah, based on everything I saw, based on I'm no expert, right, at this, but just it felt like this is a $30 to $35 million movie because I know what a $50 million movie feels like, and we know what a $20 million movie feels like, and there's a palpable lack of interest in Tron Ares from most people.
Yeah, right? I mean, don't tell the people on the internet that because they'll dogpile you and tell you it's the greatest thing ever. And you know, I have to also consider a whole bunch of them were like going out and supposedly seeing it several times. So how much of it was actually different people, and how much of it was these, you know, were these people that, yeah, if you're going to see it, see in IMAX, obviously. But the people that, I saw it 3 times this weekend, you know, and I mean, we can't say much because we know people who do that for other movies too to try to boost it. And if you're going to put your money where your mouth is, I'll respect that, you know, go you for putting your money where your mouth is. But how many of the people that were tickets sold were just the same person over and over again? And we don't really have, international totals, which I thought was kind of weird. It's open in all the markets but China. And we're not hearing a whole lot about, global box office totals.
Yeah, I was actually trying to find the breakdown of the international, and they're saying with international, it's making 60. I can't find a breakdown yet. They'll probably have it here this week. They
60. That's just a little bit about what they thought it was going to do just in the U.S.
And it kept being adjusted upward, which I thought was very weird because I'm like, most people don't even know there's a new Tron movie coming out.
A lot of people were like, wait, there's a Tron movie?
There's a Tron movie? Wait, when? Where? Yeah, so this is coming from Collider. They said, remarkably, no, it's not remarkable. Tron Ares has fallen well short of Jared Leto's critically panned box office bomb Morbius in its global debut.
Sorry.
Despite a far superior audience reception and significantly more positive reviews, the third installment of Tron couldn't crack the $100 million mark in its first 3 days of release worldwide.
It couldn't even crack, it couldn't even crack 70 million of that globally.
No.
Couldn't even crack 40 million in domestic.
Morbius didn't do that either, but came close. The superhero movie made $84 million worldwide in its opening weekend, successfully recovering its reported budget of $80 million.
Yeah, Tron, it's $80 million. It's $180 million for Tron.
Yeah, it's the Tron Ares cost reported $180 million to produce,
so
but
far.
Only 6. Yeah, I'm sure only $60 million in its global debut. And they said, yeah, it actually came underneath an Anya Taylor-Joy movie. Furiosa. Okay. So it made less than Furiosa. Is that right?
Wow.
I forgot she was in that.
Okay, here's the thing.
I forgot Furiosa existed.
Here's the thing.
Sorry, Zach.
No. I was saying Zach's
sorry, Zach. I forgot it existed. I haven't even watched it yet. No.
So, I'm not surprised because people keep not understanding the fact that while there's a lot of us who love Tron, the majority of people don't. Tron has never been, like you said before, a huge box office blockbuster success. And it has its fans and stuff like that. But you're talking like years after Legacy, which was years after Tron. And you can't keep having Tron movies without Tron. All right?
That blows my mind. Like, look, if you're gonna do Tron, right, at this point, I think to do it, to get audiences back on board, given the age of the actors, you would almost have to do a reboot, like completely, or tied in like Tron rebooted or something. But we actually have to have Tron in the Tron movie. Can you imagine having a Batman movie and it's just about like all the side characters and the Robins and the Catwoman, whatever, but there's no Batman in the movie at all. We had Batman in the first movie, but now it's like the Hogan family.
But they keep calling
Batman's
it Batman.
Family. But we keep calling it Batman.
They keep calling it Batman. And and that's just it. It's like it doesn't make sense to people. And a lot of people just aren't interested in Tron. And that doesn't help when you're doing your whole promotional lead up and it's just Jared Leto and company photo shoots, okay?
The fashion show, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like fashion show. They literally were making runways in the trailer, the teasers. It's like, guys, come on. That didn't even make sense. And every time they put one of these out, all these people would be like showing up, being like, oh my God, yay. And it was because Jared Leto, because he has his fans, but there's a definite, and you're not going to convince me otherwise, there is a concerted effort to do damage control here, because I have all these people coming at me saying, I shared something someone said, and they were saying about people saying about Eve being a Mary Sue, and I said, well, she's not a Mary Sue in the level of Ray, because she really isn't. I'm sorry. And I was actually kind of defending the character a little bit, but I said, that's what the person who said about Asian hate. And I'm like, but saying there's Asian hate to try to dismiss criticism is bullcrap. Well, they're just like, well, she wasn't girl bossing. He saved her. I'm like, I never said she was. If you watch anything I said, you would see that I've been saying since the beginning that's not the case. But this idiot was just so stupid and like, so quick to learn me. And then all these other people coming in lockstep. Well, the reviews. I'm like, when you're obsessed with your numbers and reviews that much, and I'm telling you, then that immediately makes me think, okay, these are fake, because normal people don't obsess about that. They're just like, I saw it, I liked it, I didn't like it. They're not obsessed about the reviews. And if you go by the critical scores are crap. So, even though the truth lies in the middle, there's a lot of people say it was crap. A lot of people say it's really good. The truth lies in the middle. It was mid, which is what we've been saying. It just blows my mind because they're in lockstep. Oh, and don't you know any criticism is not valid? I've yet to see any valid criticism of this movie or that character. And I'm like, because any criticism to you is invalid. And that's just it. Every criticism is invalid. Of course, no criticism could be acceptable. Also a sign of people that are either like ridiculously pickled fans or they're out there for damage control for some reason.
Yeah, there's definitely something weird going on with the social media and Tron Ares. And, I thought it was Jared Leto stands, but I am thinking it is some kind of marketing firm.
Well, I'm saying the pinnacle of idiocy that they're trying to pass off as truth. When I talk about, valid criticism, things being valid, blaming the box office failure on COVID.
Yeah, because
even insane.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I was just gonna pull this up real quick. Scott Mendelson on Substack was even like, it was a predictable box office bomb. Like nobody thought this movie was gonna make money, but apparently, if you go to the very first line of an R.I.P. Diane Keaton, by the way.
I know, I was sad. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, deadline. Long-term lasting impact from COVID thwarting moviegoing is easily felt this weekend, as two movies, Tron Ares and Roofman, only did, they said 35 to 37. Collider said it's down to 33. And Roofman did 8 million, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Wait. So, Deadline, this is Deadline, right?
Deadline.
Unironically, is saying that long-term COVID is why the box office failed. Yes. Meanwhile, Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle did well. Other movies over the summer.
Minecraft did well.
Yeah. Other movies over the summer did really well. I mean, they didn't break even because they had big box office, totals. They still beat this. But this one in particular was directly impacted by long-term COVID and Roofman, a movie that most people never even knew existed. I can't believe they actually went there. That they're actually going to try to blame in 2025. They're going to try to blame long-term COVID.
Yeah.
That's why Tron Ares. I don't think they would have tried this in 2023 when all the other movies bombed from Disney.
But we actually had some pretty big hits in 2022, 2023. That's what gets me is that, coming out of COVID, we had, Top Gun and
I'm surprised they didn't try to argue this with Disney's movies in 2023 when almost all of them failed. But they did it. They're using it now. Now, is this long-term COVID going to disappear next month when Zootopia 2 comes out? And then we get...
Is that what this is? Long COVID? Is it long COVID affecting the box office? Like, well, That's why Disney
Jared
movies.
Leto does his acting does make a lot of people sick. So there's that.
This
There's
is
a vaccine for that, though.
wild. So this is coming from Cosmic Book News. This is where we first saw it. Disney and Jared Leto's Tron Ares bombs the box office. COVID blamed.
I can't even. We had a friend who's a Tron stan. Hey Jason, reach out this morning and he's like, "Did you see this?" And it's like, "Yes, we were already on it." But it was like he was like, "They're blaming COVID." I'm like, "Yeah."
God, yeah, they're saying even Legacy, if you adjust it for inflation, it would have been $81 million.
I've mentioned that before on articles or in videos that they're trying to say, oh, it's going to be the same as Legacy, not adjusted for inflation. That was before we found out it wasn't.
For Jared Leto, Tron Ares is another box office bomb. Social media is already comparing it to Madam Web. It actually did less than Furiosa.
This is interesting to me. Post-track data shows like 57% of viewers said they definitely recommend the movie of Tron Ares. Okay, that's not what the reviews on here say. And that 57% would put it about the middle, which means it's mid, which is what we've been telling you. It's not the worst thing ever. It truly isn't. It's not the best thing ever. I literally walked out feeling nothing, which is not like me at all. I felt something for Tron Legacy. And the visuals they are very good. However, we were talking about this before this video. They look really cool. But they made sure they did it in an inexpensive way. Like when you're in the computer, you're only in his office area type place where he's at. Like you're not seeing, other than one sweeping view, you're not seeing anything. That's not like they just put like in post put like lights on it. And then when they're in the
we had a chase scene, but it wasn't as I don't know.
It was a chase scene that they went back and later added the special effects lines and stuff to, or the recognizer. That was just somebody running and they added it into the sky. But I mean, even in the grid, we had like a chase scene, but it didn't feel like the grid was like it wasn't like Legacy where it was really fleshed out. Like you could see, and that was the thing too. Like Legacy just looked a hell of a lot more expensive than this one did. It did, and the thing is, it's like it's like I said, the visuals aren't terrible. The visuals are actually pretty cool. I like them. I think they're done way cheaper. I'm not gonna lie, but they still look really good. And the recognizer on a big screen in IMAX would be really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. The music was good, but that's not enough to offset everything else that's not going right,
Side note, though, because of this, I went back and I started watching some more clips from Tron Uprising, and God, that show was good.
Yeah, well, that's
and it had Tron in it, but it was actually really, really well done, and I'm like,
I always said that's like one of the best Tron things they've ever done.
It really was pretty well done. I'm like, I'm almost thinking to myself, would you have been, if you're trying to bring Tron back, would you have been better off with a Disney Plus show or something that would have been able to, flesh out this universe? Maybe you could have had more backstory to where the hell Eve came from.
Yeah, they just throw her in there out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's no explanation other than like, oh, there's some screens and saying her and her sister are taking her. I'm like, it really was like, who the heck is this woman and what the heck is she doing here? They could have done that. It would have been a much wiser use of the money.
Yeah,
but they did it.
For that much money, they could have. And if they were going to have a lot of it take place in the real world anyway, well, there you go. It's a Disney Plus show. We go into the grid a little bit as needed. I think, honestly, at this point, to get Tron back, not that, here's the thing, too. Everybody misremembers Tron as being this huge, like, cultural thing. And it wasn't. I mean, there was Tron stuff everywhere, but that was a marketing blitz. They had lots of Tron video games because it was the height of the arcade. And
I love Tron, but the only time you ever saw it was like on Disney Plus or Disney Channel at the time.
Disney Channel, yeah. So, and that's how I kind of fell in love with it. But actually, what got me into it too was my friends had the Tron action figures, and we used to play with the Tron action figures with our G.I. Joes and our Star Wars guys. And I just thought they're really cool. And Battlestar Galactica and all those guys had, 3 3/4 inch figures. And that kind of, for me, it was like, I like the look of Tron. But like I said, I watched the original Tron a couple months ago, and I'm like, God, I forgot how slow this movie was. So it looked so cool.
Me is that, as a child, you watched the movie and liked the movie because you liked the toys that went with it and had played the toys, like everything else in the 80s that apparently is a problematic thing because they were toys. But y'all remember it to this day and love this stuff to this day because you have a joined memory of both the show, the movie, and playing with the toys. And that's like teaching. You reach kids more when you can hit them on multiple planes, and it'll stick with them forever as opposed to just teaching it one direction. It's just common sense. But speaking of toys.
Well, yeah, side note here again, we're taking a lot of side notes. We're just going to do a Tron end of line wrap up here. So they've done multiple Tron figure reissues over the years, Super 7 dim light cycles and all that. And, they make great toys. They do make great toys. Well, now Hasbro over the weekend.
I saw this and I was like, are you kidding me?
They announced that
they're bigger than that. They're only 3.6.
No, I thought they were 6-inch for that price. $260 for, now get this. $260 for 5 3 3/4 inch figures, right? So they're G.I. Joe size, classic G.I. Joe size figures. 2 light cycles. The light cycles, the wheels do not turn. They're props.
Are you kidding? I thought they were 6-inch for that price.
No.
Oh, and even then I thought that was ridiculous for 6-inch, but that's even worse. Oh,
people are like this, and they need to pre-sell 10,000 units. They're not 10,000 people. They're not 10,000 dedicated Tron fans, I don't think, that are going to pay $260 for, 4-inch action figures when they just had, like NECA just had a bunch out, and they actually look more like the retro figures, and they came out not too long ago.
Those. I'm not going to lie.
Diamond did these. I think these were 6-inch figures.
Those are cool too, but I like the other ones better.
Yeah, but this is what I remember is the clear plastic, kind of the glow in the dark figures.
I'd buy all of those. I would not buy the new one.
No, these are great.
Yeah, those are cool. I actually would buy those. But I'm just saying, I mean, I would buy Tron figures too because I loved the original Tron. This is insane to me.
Yeah, I can't. Walgreens exclusive. Oh my god. Yeah,
7-inch. Okay, that's cool.
But I'm like, again,
where 7-inch or 7-inch?
But where the hell? Yeah, the Super 7 figures are nice too, and actually the reaction figures work really nice for these. But I'm like, where the hell is Tron? People like Tron, and he was barely in Legacy. He was only in flashbacks. He wasn't in Ares at all. I'm like, how the fuck can you release a Tron movie without Tron?
How Bruce Boxleitner's so attached to it, I think he would have gladly worked with them to find a way to bring Tron back to Tron, even if it was a de-aging or something. Yeah. He would have done it in either movie, and they just never gave him the opportunity to do so. And Jared Leto, he has his stands, and they're like rabid stands. Hi, by the way, you're probably watching this video, and you're gonna get pissed. Say salty, bitches, because we get paid either way. Comment away. Just go ahead. As many comments as you want. Right? Please do. He just, he hasn't been good in a while. I'm sorry. But this basically was his vehicle because, from my understanding, he was helping pay for this because he's been pushing it because he's a Megatron stan, which I get. But like as a Megatron fan, I would be like, I want to do a Tron movie with Tron, not with me in there as a stand-in for Tron. I want to be hanging out with Tron. Like, I want to be in it with Tron. I'll was sidekick or whatever. But I wouldn't be like, hey, let's do a Tron movie where I'm basically the lead character because that makes no sense.
I was just thinking, like, back when I was a wee lad playing with my Tron action figures on the playground, I used to imagine myself as Tron.
Well, people do, and I get it.
Someday I'm going to be Tron.
That's just it. It's like these guys imagine themselves as the character, which is cool, but it's like no offense, Jared Leto, but no one really wanted to see you as the main character.
He does.
I know.
He wants to see himself as the main character and everything. All right. So this got they got from Deadline Cosmic Book News, long-term lasting impact from COVID thwarted moviegoers. So other films.
I laughed when I saw it's laughable. Yes, it is. When you told me last night, what?
Other films like Deadpool, Wolverine, Inside Out 2, The Batman, Spider-Man made $1 billion during COVID. All these movies made a lot of money.
Lilo and Stitch, live action, did over $1 billion.
Lilo and Stitch did over $1 billion. Yeah. Wicked.
Globally.
Yeah.
Post-COVID. Then too? Come on.
Weak storytelling is the reason. Yeah. Franchise fatigue. It's not franchise fatigue. It's franchise don't give a shit because it's been 15 years since Legacy, and Legacy was even
years after the first one.
Oh, Legacy was like 30 some years. Yeah.
People don't want to see movies about Tron without Tron in it. Legacy made sense because it was like, it was Flynn's kid and stuff. So it kind of made sense. It still was tied to Tron because Flynn was also the main character of Tron too. So that one kind of made sense, but this doesn't even fit.
I think Legacy kind of paved the way for, unfortunately, I think Tron Legacy paved the way for all these Legacy sequels that are like decades beyond their expiration point. Like, let's do the next generation handoff, so we saw it with Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Ghostbusters. And what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like
But they don't do it right. They could do it right, but they don't do it right.
No.
Like they could work. Like, but in all these cases, except for like Star Wars, I know it's Ghostbusters and Tron, so people are like, why? Why do we need another one? Like, we don't need this. And then immediately, if you say you don't need this and it's supposed to be female-led or something, you immediately were told you are a misogynist bigot of some way. They're already trying to spin this Asian hate on this one. It's insane. But it's like, we don't need these. Like, no one wants these now, but they could have worked if you had just done it right, and you didn't do it right. It's not that hard to get right. I mean, imagine that, putting Tron in a Tron movie. But even then, people weren't going to come because it's not that big of a brand. I mean, Star Wars, yes. I think Ghostbusters is even bigger than Tron. Tron is, it's always been very niche in its audience, and it was never going to be a blockbuster. I'm sorry. Even the Legacy did okay, but it wasn't like, gigantically, enormously huge.
Yeah,
it was insane.
They were trying to, with Legacy, what they're trying to do is turn Tron, and this is before they bought Lucasfilm, but they're trying to turn Tron into a sci-fi franchise, and it was originally supposed to be a 2-part thing, and that's why, the ending, we get Tron at the very end, but they set it up, obviously, for a sequel, and then what was baffling about Ares was, like, it didn't even continue that story. They start a whole new storyline, and kind of step over Legacy until you get to the very end. You see, Legacy actually happened.
It doesn't make any sense. And Disney just keeps mismanaging. And this one was theirs, but they just don't know how to. They don't know how to do what they're doing. Like even their new stuff isn't great half the time. It's like, Disney, what are you doing?
Now
let's put Dana Walden in charge. Yeah.
Oh God, no, you're not. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna go off, since we're talking Tron, we're talking technology, and Ares was basically about artificial intelligence. Actually, AI is the one thing that could potentially save the Tron franchise, because if they can make this stuff cheaper, and they can do
put Tron in it,
and put Tron in it, and put like a de-aged Bruce Boxleitner in it, if he would agree to sell his, maybe not his whole image, but like that version of him as Tron from the 82 or something, they actually could do a Tron series or movie that was budget friendly, that might actually be able to kind of reignite, interest in the franchise. And it would make sense because, there was a lot of talk about, computer graphics and stuff, and nobody at Disney wanted to work on Tron back in the day because they were like, it's cheating, it's using the computers. So it's like, fine, do the same thing with AI now and create an AI version of Tron that's budget conscious and actually gets people, interested in the characters again. Just putting it out there, because I think they would almost have to do a series. Uprising was, I forgot how good it was. I watched it back in the day, and I started watching clips again because I'm like, my memory's a little foggy. I feel like they fleshed this whole thing out a little bit better with Clue's takeover and stuff. I'm like, holy shit, it was actually really good. That's
what I'm saying. If you want to watch a good Tron, something that's Tron, and then watch that one. But I mean, and again, if you want to go see this movie, I want to say it again too. You're allowed to like this movie. You are totally allowed to like Tron Ares. I don't know why people keep thinking that if someone else doesn't like it, it means they can't like it. We always say here, and anybody who watches our channel knows this, you are allowed to like something, you are allowed to not like something. Both are valid. It's an opinion, it's valid, and if people don't like it, they're allowed to not like it. But if you love it, them not liking it is no reflection on you liking it. You're allowed to like it. You don't need their permission to like it, just like I don't need your permission to think it was mid. You're allowed to. So just stop with this whole any criticism is not valid and you're a blah, 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 racist Asian hater and all. No, you're allowed to like it. You're allowed to not like it. It is what it is.
Toxic MAGA Asian hater. Toxic MAGA Asian hater.
They always go on about Asian hate. You must hate Asian people. And why is that funny, Kneon?
Because we watch a lot of K-drama and anime.
Well, yeah, a lot. And I have zero Asian hate towards anyone because I like, those are when everybody else is watching other shows, I'm always watching K-dramas and everything else. I hate Asians so much that I watch K-dramas as my main source of entertainment and everything else. And our daughter's actually, her name's Japanese. So yeah, so much.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny though is I actually gave AI my avatar and I said, what would I look like in real life? And it made me Asian.
But everybody else thought you were black.
Yeah, I know, right? The AI thinks I'm Asian. Yeah, maybe I don't have it pulled up, but I'm like, what would I look like in live action? And it was like, oh yeah, I just look like a pudgy Asian weeb with big round glasses and a Pac-Man shirt.
Anyway, let's wrap this up. But there you go, guys. Tron failed because of late COVID.
Yeah.
Long-term COVID.
Late stage Disney. Tron still because of late stage Disney.
I just think it's more like late stage Jared Leto career. Also, if you have $260, you want to just flush down the toilet, you can go pay Haslab for 3 3/4 inch figures and bikes that you can't actually play with. They don't move.
God, it's ridiculous. Do they even glow in the dark? I don't even think they glow in the dark. It's lame. All right.
At least do that. Okay. Anyway,
know, right?
Let's wrap it up. It's going long.
All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.